What's up guys, Reese here from Stoic Pool. This is video 3 of our testing module for the Aiken course, empowered by the Cardano Foundation. And in this video we're going to be writing the 2 other tests we need to do for our other 2 redeemer cases, market edit and market delist. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start with market edit. And for market edit, what we need to do is we need to make sure that the transaction is signed by the seller and that the assets from our market in need to go back. So we need a market output with the same value as the input value. Okay, so that's basically what's going on. Let's dive straight in. So we're going to copy our previous test because it's basically done for us already, and that'll just save a lot of writing. And we're going to get rid of our buyer in because we don't need it, and we'll change our outputs to just market out. Then we can delete the buyer ins and seller ins and outputs, and we can copy our market in, paste it below, change it to market out, and change our market action to medit. And we can write our new datum because we need a new datum for our input, right, with the updated price. And new datum is going to be a market datum with a price of 250 and our seller. And we actually need to have that in our redeemer as well, so we'll add that price of 250 to our market action. Then we can get rid of the input stuff, so we're just left with the output. And the reason that we've copied this is because all of the info is going to be the same. We need the same output address, so the same script address of def. We need the same market value, and we need the same inline datum of market datum. Well, actually, we don't need the new market datum. We need to change that to new datum. And that's it. That should be the test. But actually, there's one other thing we need to do, and that's put the signature of our seller in, because that's actually checked in the validator, as it should be. So we'll write, in our transaction, we're going to write extra signatories, and we're going to add seller into a list. Because extra signatories is also a list. It's a list of wallet signatures, if you remember, verification keys. So that should be everything for that. And when we run Aiken check, we get an error, and that says medit doesn't exist. So we need to import medit. And then when we run Aiken check again, we can see we have our passing test with our execution units. You'll see that memory is slightly less and CPU is slightly more. And that's because we're checking the extra signatories as well. But we don't need as much memory, probably because there's less info, right? There's less inputs, there's less outputs, so generally it's got to handle less data. So now there's just one more test to write, and that's delist. So again, we're just going to copy, and we're going to stick it in delist. We're going to get rid of our new datum, and we're going to change our market action to delist. Now, delist is only checking for a signature, unless you've done the homework. What we need to do is we just need to make sure that they sign it. And what we want to do, which is the homework, is we need to make sure that the asset actually goes to the seller as well. So we're going to put that in our test already, which should probably make it easier for you to check whether your homework works or not. And we're going to change that T output to a T wallet address. And we're going to change it to seller. And then we're going to have no datum in the output as well. And then we can change outputs to seller out, and we can import delist from our types. And then when we run Aiken check, you can see that we have our passing test, and you know that the validator is running because we've got, well, for a start, we've got a passing test, so it's actually doing something, but also we can see the execution cost for that validation. Cool. So there's one more kind of test that we really want to try before we go any further, and that's a failing test, because it's all good trying to prove that something works as it should, but how do you know that it won't work how it's not supposed to work? And that seems like it's the same thing, but it's quite an important distinction actually. So we're going to make a failing test for market delist. So we'll copy that and we'll just paste it underneath, and to do a failing test we use this fail keyword after our function. And so we'll rename that to market delist fail, and we're going to change our extra signatories to the buyer. So we're going to put our buyer back in, and buyer was beef. And then when we run our test, you can see that the test passes, and at the bottom, market delist fail passes. Now it passes because validation fails, because it's a failing test, remember. So that means that it has actually worked as it's supposed to, but this can be a little confusing. So just to show you, we're going to change that. We're going to remove the fail, and if we run the test again, it'll say it's failed. So we can stick that keyword back in, and now you can see why it's passed when it's a failing test. And you can see, again, it's passed. Alright guys, that's it for this video. We've got our 2 other redeemer cases tested and verified, and we've got a failing test for delist. But I actually want you to write another failing test for edit and one for market buy as well, because the more that you practice these things, obviously the easier it's going to be. And we'll have a look at these in a bit more detail in future modules when we have a little look at things like property-based testing and potential exploits. But for now, I just want you to try and do that by yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you then.